Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to Amazed by the Quran, a series in which I love sharing with you things I find amazing about the Quran. I hope I'm able to share this with you. This is so cool, but it's also kind of complicated. So it's a tough job, but I'll try to do this, okay? So we're going to compare two surahs, Surah Al-A'raf, 7th surah, and Surah Hud, 11th surah. And in both of these surahs you have just one contrast between the two. In one of them, Allah will talk about how the Quraysh, in Surah Al-A'raf, how the Quraysh don't listen to what the Prophet ﷺ says, and they don't, أَلَهُمْ رَجُلٌ يَمْشُونَ بِهَا أَمْ لَهُمْ أَيْدٍ يَبْطِشُونَ بِهَا أَمْ لَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ يُبْصِرُونَ بِهَا أَمْ لَهُمْ آذَانٌ يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا قُلِ ادْعُوا شُرَكَاءَكُمْ. Like Allah criticizes their idols. Do their idols have feet that they can walk with, or hands that they can grab with, or eyes they can see with, or they have ears they can hear with? He starts critiquing the idols that are being worshipped. And at the end of it all, he says, call all of your partners. Why don't you call all of these idols? And have them scheme against me. فَكِيدُونَ ثُمَّ كِيدُونَ. Then go ahead, make a scheme against me. فَلَا تُنْظِرُونَ. And no, please don't give me any extra time. Make your scheme and then attack. Go ahead, do what you can. It's kind of this call out, right? He calls them out. And the same kind of calling out happens in Surah Hud, but it actually happens on the tongue of Hud. Hud is talking to his people and he says, فَكِيدُونِي جَمِيعًا. Go ahead, scheme against me altogether. فَلَا تُنْظِرُونَ. And don't wait for me. Don't give me extra time. Just go for it. Let's have it, Now, in both of them, there's this kind of aggressive calling out and asking for the scheming to take place against the other prophet. But before I tell you the remarkable difference between these two, which I find just absolutely mind-blowing, just some more things about this surah, specifically Surah Hud. In Surah Hud, the opposition is actually from the enemy. In other words, in Surah Al-A'raf, Allah is criticizing what the mushrikeen believe. But in Surah Hud, it's actually the opposite. The mushrikun are criticizing Hud. They're criticizing the Prophet. And they're coming after his character. And so what they say is, Ya Hud ma ji'tana bi bayyinatin. You haven't brought us anything clear. وَمَا نَحْنُ بِتَارِكِ آلِهَتِنَا. We're not going to be ones to ever abandon our gods. عَنْ قَوْلِكَ. Just off of your word. وَمَا نَحْنُ لَكَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. And we are never, ever going to give in to what you're saying. إِن نَقُولُ إِلَّا اعْتِرَاكَ بَعْضُ آلِهَتِنَا بِسُوءٍ. All we have to say is some of our gods got mad at you and have put some kind of curse on you. So you're probably cursed because of some of our gods, and that's why you've become delusional. قَالَ إِنِّي أُشْهِدُ اللَّهَ وَأَشْهِدُ إِنِّي بَرِيءٌ مِّمَّا تُشْرِكُونَ. I make God a witness and I make you witness that I have nothing to do with these kinds of, this blasphemy that you people do, these associations with God that you make. So Hud is actually debating with them. Okay, now check this out. In the first case, it's actually Allah criticizing the disbeliever. In the second case, it's the disbeliever criticizing Allah's messenger. And in this second case, when the disbeliever is criticizing Allah's messenger is the one under attack. He's the one under attack. So you have to understand, right? I'll sum it up. In Surah Al-A'raf, Allah is on the attack. But in Surah Hud, it's the Prophet who's under the attack. Hud is under attack. And when Hud is under attack, he says, فَكِيدُونِي. Go ahead and attack me. Like the knee is long. And in the other, it's so casual. Allah extends the attack and says, go ahead and attack me. فَكِيدُون is not extended. It's not extended. So when the attack comes, you're supposed to retract and you're supposed to become defensive because they're on the offensive. But actually Allah reverses it, and when they're on the offensive, the Prophet becomes even more offensive and says, go ahead and make a plan against me. And the me is loud. فَكِيدُونِي. Subhanallah, it's so epic. And then that's just one difference between them. Then this is just absolutely remarkable. The literature of the Quran and the structure of the Quran. One says, فَلَا تُنْظِرُونَ. Then don't give me any time. And the other says, ثُمَّ لَا تُنْظِرُونَ. Thereafter, don't give me any time. So the Arabic word for then is fa or thumma. So I ate, then I drank. So فَشَرِبْت. If you say thumma sharibt, if you use another word for then, thumma, which actually means I ate, then I drank. In other words, there was a gap between the one and the other. When you say fa, it happens immediately. And when you say thumma, it happens over time. And in the case of Hud, there's actually a time gap. And in the case of A'raf, it's immediate. One uses fa and the other uses thumma. Now the question arises, what justifies that? Why would you use an immediate one in one surah and a delayed response from them in the other surah. What's absolutely fascinating in Surah A'raf, all over the surah, وَكَمْ, from the beginning, وَكَمْ مِنْ قَرْيَةٍ أَهْلَكْنَاهَا فَجَاءَهَا بَأْسُنَا بَيَاتًا أَوْ هُمْ قَائِلُونَ. How many towns have we destroyed that our war came against them in the middle of the night, all of a sudden, while they were asleep. The suddenness of Allah's attack coming. Then ثم بدلنا مكان السيئة الحسنة حتى عفوا وقالوا قد مس آباءنا الضراء والسراء فأخذناهم بغتة وهم لا يشعرون. People in the 95th ayah, we replaced their bad times with good ones until they became permissive and forgiving. In other words, they just let go of all of their moral inhibitions. And they said, oh, our ancestors used to have a hard time, but we're living in good times. Then we seize them all of a sudden. There's this sudden grab in Surah Al-A'raf that's mentioned over and over again. And when we come to this ayah, subhanallah, and I actually share another ayah with you, فَكَذَّبُوهُ فَأَنْجَيْنَاهُ وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ فِي الْفُلْكِ وَأَغْرَقْنَا الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا. You know, we rescued him and those who were with him on board the ship, and we all of a sudden drowned those who had lied against our ayat. The flood came all too quickly in the story of Nuh alayhi salam. It just came all too quickly. All of them indicating a quick response. And in a surah that's full of quick reactions from God, He says, why don't you bring about a quick reaction? Go ahead. Go ahead, attack me quickly. Because that's what I do. Subhanallah. In the other surah, in Surah Hud, check this out. وَأَنِ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ ثُمَّ تُوبُوا إِلَيْهِ. You should seek forgiveness of your master, repent towards him. يُمَتِّعْكُمْ مَتَاعًا حَسَنًا إِلَىٰ أَجَلٍ مُسَمَّى. He will furnish you with good furnishings. He'll provide you good things until a given time. Until a given time. وَيُؤْتِ كُلَّ ذِي فَضْلٍ فَضْلَهُ. And He will allow time for giving everyone who possesses any goodness their goodness. وَإِن تَوَلَّوْا. And if you still turn away, then I eventually fear for you عَذَابَ يَوْمٍ كَبِيرٍ, the punishment of a big day. Subhanallah. Go ahead until a given time. There's extra time in Surah Hud. لَإِنْ أَخَّرْنَا عَنْهُمُ الْعَذَابِ. If we were to delay the punishment for them, if we were to give them extra time before the punishment came, إِلَىٰ أُمَّةٍ مَعْدُودَةٍ, until a very limited deadline, لَيَقُولُونَ مَا يَحْبِسُهُ. They're going to say, what's holding it back? أَلَا يَوْمَ يَأْتِيهِمْ لَيْسَ مَصْرُوفًا عَنْهُمْ. Isn't it the case that eventually when it comes to them, they won't be able to get away from it? And similarly, يَا نُوحْ قَدْ جَادَلْتَنَا فَأَكْثَرْتَ جِدَالَنَا فَأْتِنَا بِمَا تَعِدُنَا. Nuh, the story of Nuh is mentioned in Surah Hud also. Nuh, you keep arguing with us. You've argued with us too much. Bring it already. We're tired of waiting. It's taking too long. Why is it taking its time? So the idea of punishment taking its time is in Surah Hud. And so when the Prophet Hud speaks in Surah Hud and says, attack me, take your time, then after that, take your time, ثُمَّ لَا تُنْظِرُونَ. And then don't give me any extra once you're done making your scheme. Take your time making your scheme. Because Allah is taking His time too. Subhanallah. Just fine, thumma. I'm amazed by the Quran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If you enjoyed this video, please do share it with friends and family. If you want to see more videos from this series, click on the box at the top. If you want to see other videos, click on the box at the bottom. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks.